back here in the UK, let's recap on my US trip. Part of this trip was about getting back up to where I spent a lot of my formative years growing up to become a young man. So I took my children up to San Luis Obispo, go Mustangs. As you see, I always have my Cal Poly hat close by, but it was there to inspire them. So showing them where I went, walking around the campus, just experiencing that. As a matter of fact, click here above me to watch another one of my videos where I discuss the differences between the UK and the US university or college system. But I wanted to inspire my young daughters to want to go to university, to see what it's like to walk on a college campus or a university campus, and understand where their dad came from in terms of his education. San Luis Obispo is known, world famous for the bubble gum alley. Look at all this bubble gum on the wall right here. Oh my goodness, look at this. Wall to wall, and it is so thick in some places. Let me see if I can zoom in and show you. Look how thick this is right here. Oh my goodness, look how much gum that is. But just to inspire them. So when I was there, it was just great. I was able to walk them around campus. We went to a football game. And what's interesting is there's a story here is because I got to see one of my old teammates and his 3 younger brothers. His baby brother was actually playing his final game at Cal Poly. And so this family is like an institution in Cal Poly football because over the last 20 years or so, they have been on the team. And I actually captured that moment where we saw each other. We haven't seen each other in several years. And we captured that moment where I got to see my old teammate, and here it is now.
What's up, man? How you doing, dude? I heard rumors.
Yeah, the rumors are true.
Biggest basketball calls me. He goes, hey, Kyle. Just call and ask him to. Yeah, I'm like, no way! How you doing, man?
Another thing about my teammate, Kyle, is he actually visited me in Italy when I was living in Italy. Funny story is we were sitting there having limoncello with all my friends. And he's there. And limoncello, they pour in like shot glasses. And so we all sitting around, we get our limoncello. And I've been living in Italy for a while at this point. And so I'm used to how to drink limoncello. And you usually enjoy it. You sit there and just kind of sip it. And here we go. We do a cheers, salute. And next thing you know, he downs the whole damn thing. And he looks up, he's like, why is everybody sipping it? And it's just such a cultural shock, cultural difference there. But it was a great moment there to see the band, to see the football team play. We didn't win the game. So let's go back to California. Point number 1 is that when you're in the UK, sports, right? One thing that happens at every sports game is you have the old fanfare. You have the singing of the national anthem. You have the band on the field, marching band. You have all of that experience going on, which doesn't necessarily take place here in Europe or in the UK where they play the national anthem. It is something that is only done at big time events when it's like the, UEFA championship, it's the Olympics going on, it's the Commonwealth Games, they play that kind of stuff there. But in the US, every sports game, every sports team, before the game, they play the national anthem. A special thing that we do at Cal Poly is there's a history that we lost most of the football team in 1960 in a plane crash. So before every game, we go down and we touch the rock, we say a prayer, we do this in remembrance of them and honoring them, but then also to appreciate that we're not promised tomorrow and that we do this in their honor and we play for their memory. And we hope that we make them proud on the field. So we do that every home game and every away game. Doesn't matter. We're going down to the rock and we're going to touch that rock. We're going to say a prayer. We're going to work together, stay together. And those are usually the 2 things that we say when we break the huddle or the prayer, because you can't be forced to pray, but we usually sit there and do a moment of silence. And at the end, we usually say, work together and stay together.
Let's go.
because that's important in a team sport. Now, the second thing that takes place in California, or cultural shocks you got to get used to, is I'm so used to it and it's so foreign to me now, is that when I walk into a store, I'm just used to paying whatever is on the tin. So if it says something costs $3.99, I'm used to paying $3.99. But in America, if something says $3.99, you're actually going to pay something like $4.25. There's going to be some tax added into it later. So you get used to that. You have to get used to this culture shock, the reverse culture shock. So I really enjoyed that about living in Europe and in the UK, is that what you see on the tin is actually what you pay. Oh, number two. This one I am so tired of. And number two is really all about tipping, the tipping culture. And I'm not a big tipper. I've used to living over here. So when I go back to America, unfortunately, I don't tip anybody anything. I try to tip just a little. I usually just round it off. So if the bill is $50.45, I might round it up to $53 and just give the change that way. But in America, you get used to it. They actually put on the receipt 10, 15, 20%, estimated gratuity. And I'm just not used to that anymore. And I really don't like it. It's uncomfortable. I'm one of the people where I just say, just make the prices higher and pay the people better. So you tell me what your thoughts on that. Like, what are your experiences when you go to America? How do you like that? The tipping culture. Number three is all about the contrast between the cost and standard of living. So take Hollywood, for example. You go down Hollywood, all you guys want to go to Hollywood, but it's just some big, long boulevard. And when you walk down it, to me, it's nothing nice and nothing special. But everybody wants to go to California, go to LA, see all the stars. But then just around the corner, it's just poverty and homelessness. I mean, while I was there was a man having a mental illness breakdown and was literally right next to the car. And I had to tell my daughters to look into the car and not to look at this man. And more importantly, it forced me in a conversation where I had to let them know, like, this is a human being. This is a man who's having a problem. He's not to be made fun of, and he just needs help. And it just goes more into why the U.S. healthcare system is terrible. Click here to watch a video where I talk about why the NHS is so great. Because we lack the care for people like this. They have nowhere to go. So he's just yelling and screaming. His pants are falling out. His butt is out. His bollocks is out. Click here to watch another video. This might be the second or third drop I do on this video, to watch another one of my videos for the top 5 words you need to know if you're going to live in the UK. Let's keep moving on. Now, another thing is I took the girls on a drive to Skid Row because it's not lost on me that they get to experience the world in a way most people don't. They get to come overseas, fly business class, fly in the front, fly in luxury planes, go on great holidays, go to private villas, swim in beautiful pools, have great summer vacations, things like that. That's just not the everyday experience. And when we were going through Skid Row, it became a point where it got to a point where I had that father moment, that dad moment where I said, I got to say something. And I need to go into this story and explain to them how fortunate they are. But what happens, how we are all 1 second away to being homeless. It can happen to any of us. But then not only is it that, is when I tell you to go to school, get good grades, this is what I mean. It's not that everybody on here living on the street has bad grades or is a drug addict. But like I say, everybody is 1 second away from being homeless. It can happen to any of us.